Hey there! If you haven't already decided on getting the COVID-19 vaccine, regardless of who the maker is, Moderna, Pfizer, or Johnson & Johnson, I'm going to share with you some information and facts I received the day I went in to get my one and done deal. I will also share with you my experience that day, the reason I decided to get the COVID-19 vaccine, despite the fact that originally I had no intention or plans to get it, and the surprising insight I got into the lives of the first century Christian forebears of our faith and what it must have been like to walk in their shoes. Without much ado, let's get rolling. Welcome, friend, to UBU for One. If this is your first time visiting the channel, my name's Karina, and this channel's purpose is to remind Christian brothers and sisters that they are undeniably beloved, uniquely for one God people. So I'm going to ask you, if that doesn't appeal to you, please do not subscribe to this channel. But if any of the information regarding the COVID-19 vaccine has been of benefit to you, yes, please go and hit the like button because that will help support the channel. Food and Drug Administration, otherwise known as FDA, has not approved any of the vaccines as of April 5th of 2021. However, an emergency use authorization, EUA, has been granted by the FDA to use the Moderna, Pfizer, and Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccines. The United States FDA has made the Johnson COVID-19 vaccine available under an emergency access mechanism called an EUA. The EUA is supported by a Secretary of Health, Human Services declaration that circumstances exist to justify the emergency use of drugs and biological products during the COVID-19 pandemic. So on April 2nd, 2021, I received the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. Moderna is rated to have a 94% efficacy rate, and Pfizer claims to have a 95% efficacy rate. Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine has a 66% efficacy rate. In my decision in getting a vaccine, the efficacy rate played absolutely no bearing for me. What I liked about it was that it was touted as the one and done deal. I hate needles, and the less that I can get poked by them, the happier camper I am. Now, both Moderna and Pfizer require 2 doses. The Moderna vaccine requires a 4-week wait or 28-day wait between the 2 inoculations, whereas Pfizer requires a 3-week break between the first and the second. Now, for all of the vaccines, full efficacy rate is reached within 2 to 3 weeks after the last injection. And it's guesstimated that the minimum of coverage lasts about 3 months. They really actually claim they're not sure how long the efficacy rate remains within your body, but they guesstimate at least 3 months. So that makes me wonder, do I have to go in and get another shot? And I do know that they are speaking about getting booster shots. The vaccines will not cause you to test positive on any COVID-19 infection tests. Multiple times they talk about having an allergic reaction to the vaccine. In fact, they suggest if you are aware that you have an allergy toward any of the ingredients inside the vaccine administered, that they suggest that you see your primary caregiver before receiving a vaccine. The ingredients in the Johnson & Johnson are recombinant citric acid monohydrate, replication incompetent adenovirus type 26 expressing the SARS-CoV-2 spike protein, trisodium citrate dihydrate, ethanol, 2-hydropropyl B, cyclodextrin, polysorbate 80, and sodium chloride. I like sodium chloride. All 3 vaccines claim not to contain eggs, preservatives, and latex. Latex. Who has ever been injected by latex? Is there latex in gummy bears? Not bad. Not crunchy, but not bad. So potential side effects. Now, the woman who gave me my particular vaccine did warn me and said that there was a fair probability that the injection site might include redness, swelling, and pain. And for me, I was very, very fortunate that all I got was a kind of a dull ache in the area 12 to 24 hours after the injection, and it dissipated away fairly easily. So other general side effects that can occur within the next 48 hours to 7 days post-injection: headache, feeling very tired, muscle aches, nausea, fever, and chills. So I found out that there's going to be a general public offer to get the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. All I had to do was make a phone call. Hello, your medical health center. Hi, yes, I'm calling because I would like to make an appointment to get my COVID-19 vaccine. Oh, yeah, I'd be happy to take your appointment. Okay. I have some questions for you. Okay, great. Have you ever been tested positive for COVID-19? No. Okay. Have you felt ill or had a fever in the last month? Nope. I've actually been feeling really well for quite some time. Okay. Have you received a COVID-19 vaccine? Nope. And then her tone changed when she brought up where the location would be to receive this vaccine. It's going to be at the United Methodist Church. It caught my attention. Her tone suggested to me that she was concerned about how I might feel that the location happened to be on church ground. I mean, at least that was my takeaway. So the day arrived for my appointment, and when I got there, it was pretty busy. People were moving about back and forth, and it was a bright sunny day. I arrived, and first there was a check-in line, and they give everyone a clipboard, and you fill out your little medical information. It moved rather quickly. From start to finish, arriving to leaving, it took a whole 40 minutes, and it felt like a really quick 40 minutes. Once I filled out my paperwork, I pretty much got quickly assigned to a medical professional who would provide me with the vaccine. So I thought, great, this is really quick. Talk about one and done. I like that. However, for me, it didn't turn out to be one and done. One and done is supposed to be one and done. Not for me. The woman administering the shot was also very pleasant, very positive and upbeat, and she seemed quite happy to do what she was doing. So I felt very at ease, took off my jacket, rolled up my sleeve, and let her have at it. She administered the shot. But I felt nothing. I thought, wow, this is great. I'm like, what's everybody talking about? Like, oh, they feel it in their arm. I didn't. And in fact, she even asked me, do you feel a little pressure or discomfort? And I said, no, not at all. Well, guess what? Somehow, some way, I didn't receive the shot. Are you like kidding me? Yeah, I know. I've got a video proving that I got that first shot. But she thought, I don't think there was anything in that shot. Now, I because of the surprise of that, I didn't even think to ask what makes you think that. Instead, she proceeded to say, you know what? I'm going to give you a second injection. Oh, to make sure you walk out of here with an actual vaccine. And I was just like, oh, hey. And if you know me at all, good, bad, right, wrong. I kind of thought, hey, you caught me by surprise? Yeah, let's go for it. Why not? I've already given up the idea I'm not going to get one. So, might as well get two. 2 in 1 day. Hey, who can claim that, right? So, I got my second Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. This time around, I felt it. My arm felt uncomfortable. I could feel a numbing warmth and ache going all the way down my arm to my finger.
Ow! Okay, I feel it. Yeah. Oh. Yuck. Okay. Yeah.
So I'm curious, what would you have done in my shoes? Would you have agreed to take that second shot? Or say, you know what? One and done, I'm good. Thank you very much. So after I received my second shot of the one and done vaccine, the woman proceeded to tell me that I needed to go and sit in what they call the waiting area for about 15 minutes after to make sure that I didn't have a severe allergic reaction to the shot. 15 minutes. I thought I was going to get a shot and walk away, but I guess they're taking precautions. In case you weren't aware of anaphylaxis or anaphylactic shock, that is the most extreme allergic reaction the human body can have to some foreign object, whether it's some kind of food, a bee sting, allergy to nuts, whatever it may be. And it can be deadly if you don't have quick, immediate medical attention.
Oh, difficulty breathing.
Swelling of your face and throat.
Woo! A fast heartbeat. A bad rash all over your body. Oh, dizziness and weakness.
The most frightening part about an anaphylactic shock is that your air passage can swell up and make it impossible for you to breathe air. If you can't breathe, you're basically in some really deep doo-doo. So needless to say, I didn't refuse the offer to wait around an extra 15 minutes. In fact, I stuck around for an extra 5 more.
I'm glad the lady caught that the first time because, I don't know. I got it done. That's all I know is I got it done.
So today, the day of filming, it's been 4 days since I received my vaccine shot, and I have been extremely blessed that I have had no other symptoms other than a little bit of ache at the actual injection site. In fact, I don't think it even got that red or swollen. So what triggered all of this for me to even consider to change my mind? It started with a small news clip video that I saw about a concert event that would require people to either prove that they had a vaccine or that they were negative in their COVID infection. So now consider that. To get the vaccine, it requires either 2 injections or 1 for most people, or a consistent appointment weekly, who knows how often, to test whether you are COVID-19 positive or not. That one would hamper your lifestyle a bit. And I realized getting the vaccine was a lot more convenient for me, because who doesn't want to be able to go to a concert? Who doesn't want to be able to go to some big social event? And then you're not allowed to enter because, one, you don't produce a test that affirms that you have a negative result and that you're not carrying COVID-19, or that you haven't gotten yourself inoculated. Prior to that news clip, I had a conversation with my niece whose employer required all of their employees to get the vaccine. Now, mind you, my niece does not work for the medical community. And so I thought it was surprising that this was required. And the employer conveyed this information in a way that made it clear to the employees that if you want to maintain your position, it would behoove you to get the vaccine. It was a subtle way of saying you may not be able to keep your job if you don't have a vaccine. So employment could be threatened. That played into my decision as well, because the work I do is videography. And so for me to be able to enter into an event, for me to be able to work with other people, it may come to the point that I'm required to either show I'm negative on the COVID-19 infection or that I've had the vaccine. And as I was considering this, it occurred to me that the Christian forebears of the first century were persecuted for their faith, not for inoculations or vaccines, but for their faith. For them to profess their faith publicly meant that they would not worship any other god, which was a cultural requirement at the time under the Roman rule, that if you didn't worship their Roman gods, basically you couldn't run your own business, you couldn't work for anybody, you were ostracized publicly, and worse, you were tortured for your faith. Now, as far as I know, no one's getting thrown into jail for not getting a vaccine. I thought, wow, how quickly I decided to forego my decision to not get the vaccine because I was concerned about my finances and my freedom to go to social events, things that I enjoyed with other people. That mattered. So if I were living in first century times, would I have confessed my faith and stuck to my guns regardless of the outcome? To be honest, I'm still struggling with my answer on that. I'd like to say, yeah, I'm going down with the ship on my faith with God because He's number one. But if my livelihood is threatened, if my life and my well-being is threatened, would I stand for that? Could you? Would you? You know, I think back about that woman who took my appointment for the vaccine, and how when she mentioned that they were providing these injections at a local church, her tone had changed. And so I paused, and there was like this pregnant pause before I said, okay. Philippians 1:20 says, "For I live in eager expectation and hope that I will never do anything that causes me shame, but that I will always be bold for Christ as I have been in the past, and that my life will always honor Christ, whether I live or die." You know, friend, we are not promised tomorrow. However, we are promised eternity. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope that what was shared has given you some food for thought and maybe has challenged you or helped you out in making your decision if you have not already received a COVID-19 vaccine. In the meantime, God bless, take care, and I'll see you again soon.
Got my haircut. Oh my goodness, it feels so good. I feel good. I feel really good. Oh, it's off of my back. God bless.